Hello. So, I would have assumed you clicked on this video to learn how to get better at Apex Legends, but just by watching a video, that's not how you can improve at a game, or at anything in that matter. It can tell you, like, what to do to get better, but, like, you will not get better by watching this video. Learning how to play games and do stuff takes a lot of practice, so I just wanted to get that out of the way before we start. Okay, so the first thing we have is aim. Aim is what I see a lot of people struggle in this game, whether that be people with thousands of hours or people who are just brand new. But aim is one thing that you will need to become very good at this game. So what I do to practice aim is every day in the firing range, I recommend just shooting these bots for at least 10 or maybe like 20 minutes. Doing that every day can help you get better aim. So like the settings I'll use for that are
I need help.
so I'll make them on like random shield or like mythic. I'll have them like go have them on random, and then I'll just start shooting. And if you really want to get good at aim, I recommend using no stock. It's just gives less recoil control. But then recoil control is what leads us into the next part. This is what I highly recommend using, is you can strafe to the right or the left, and then you hold your analog stick you use to aim in the opposite direction, or if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, you just aim in the opposite direction of which you are strafing. And as you see, alright, I'm not doing it like properly, but you will see that when you do this, when you're just aiming back and forth, it eliminates all the recoil. And then when you are aiming at people, that makes it a lot easier to aim. Because A, when you're strafing, it makes you harder to hit. And then when you are harder to hit while you're strafing, you could just keep on doing that and getting rid of all the recoil. Which that will lead us into part number 2, which is strafing. Okay, so now we have strafing. Strafing is one of the core parts of being better at Apex Legends, because when you strafe, as I said earlier, it makes you harder to hit, and basically it makes it easier for you to aim. You never want to just stand still while shooting somebody. You never want to like walk forward when you're shooting somebody. That is how you die very fast. You always want to hit strafe. So like when you strafe, there's a few different ways of strafing, but what is most common is just left to right strafing. So if we go left and right, that's what is most commonly used. There's also mirror strafing, which is where you mirror your opponent. So you go in the same direction they are, and then you can just shoot them. That's very uncommon, and a lot of people don't expect it. So when people do that, it's like, say if you do that, you could probably get like the advantage on them because they'll expect you to go the other way. Yeah. Okay, so this part's gonna be a bit different. It's not gonna be about giving tips or anything, but it's about real life. When you are playing Apex Legends a lot, you start to get burned out. I have experienced this multiple times, and I've taken maximum like a 4-month break from this game to focus on like schoolwork and other stuff. You just want to make sure that you are doing okay in real life, in like school or work or whatever, and you just want to, you know, we'll just play the game for fun. Like, it's not that serious unless if you're like a pro player. So yeah, I just wanted to put that one out there just in case people start playing a lot like I did, because it's not fun. So on to the next part. Alright, so now we have teammates. You never want to ever make it your teammate's job to keep you alive, because that's just not improving. That's relying on other people. So what I recommend to get better with game sense and all that is to play duos with no fill. Okay, so we have loaded into a match. And, yeah. Okay, so when you are learning, I recommend playing a character that can help you get away easily. For example, Mirage, Loba, Horizon, Wraith, Octane, you know, all those characters. You can get away pretty easily using them. They're also good for offense. And yeah, now we'll go to drops. So with the new rank system, this doesn't count, but overall, if you just want to be better, you want good drops when you're playing pubs. So I recommend landing somewhere near a place that's hot, for example, Energy Bank. And I'll land in one of like any surrounding buildings. I'll never land in the middle unless if I'm just messing around. So what I do is you want to land in one of these buildings, right? And then someone just landed on me. And what you want to do is you just want to practice playing. Just practice how like the flow of a match goes. Please excuse the bad gameplay. This is my first match on. Sound cues, that's another thing. As you heard, I heard that Wraith hit a shield cell. So that just told me where she was, and I was able to get that kill. So that's one thing that I was talking about, game sense. I shouldn't have died right there. I should have immediately went to go somewhere else because I knew I was in a very populated area. So, another way to get good is just to play mixtape a lot. I have friends who only play mixtape and they're like silver. But they'll be like absolute demons on the gun rank. They'll go like plus 400 every match. When you are playing gun run or whatever is on, if you're just trying to get good at fighting, don't even play for like the objective. Like, if you're doing like control and you just want to get better, just don't even like play the objectives. Just push. Because like you don't really need to do that. Just leave that to your teammates or whatever. Now I'm not saying that's a good way of playing. That is absolutely horrible, but like if you're just learning and you want to have fun, do it. Because like, yeah. Okay, so now we are going to go in, and what you want to decide on is loadouts. Now the guns you use, well this is not team deathmatch, but if you're playing team deathmatch, you want to choose usually the close quarters one because that has like the best guns, fastest time to kill and whatever. But in gun run you can't really do that, so. See that guy? Low game sense, he didn't hear me walking. Horrible aim. So yeah, playing gun run is actually good if you can only play with like just a couple of guns. Like if you can only play with like 3 different guns, you want to get good at different guns because you can't confirm. You just like you don't choose what guns you get. You can choose what guns you pick up, but you just cannot choose what guns you get. So gun run, you just don't choose what guns you get. Alright, so now while we're in the middle of this gameplay, I actually want to ask you something. You as in the viewer. I really want you to subscribe. It would make my day if you did. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. That is my dream. And I would be the happiest person in the world with that effort. Why are you still shooting? I feel like and this is another lesson right here. Blanking. Attacking your opponents from areas they're not expecting. Really good. Okay, so they just left, completely ruining it. Okay. Why are you still? Also, that's good game sense on his end right there. Making sure to track me while I was in phase. That was really good. One thing you want to get good at when you're in the higher ranks, like platinum. I'd say after you hit platinum, you want to work on getting good moves. Because if your opponent has bad aim with good movement, you can do better. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys again later.